Welcome back, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here for another explainer. If you're the kind of person who loves to really geek out on how things work, getting into the deep structure behind a truly great process, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're taking a culinary journey that's going to completely transform your standard weeknight dinners. So get comfortable, focus in, and let's master the art of the chickpea.
Okay, let's dive into this. If you're sitting there thinking, yeah, I've made chickpea curry before, I know the drill. I'm going to challenge you to just set those assumptions aside for a minute. We aren't just tossing a can of beans into a pot with some curry powder today. No way. We're going to uncover the highly specific, from-scratch secrets behind authentic Punjabi Chole. It's an incredibly popular dish, but the magic? It lies in a very intentional series of steps that elevate it from just a basic meal to an absolute masterpiece. We're going to look at the exact ingredients and the precise techniques you need to nail this dish every single time.
Section 1. The Punjabi Chole difference. Moving beyond the basic chickpea.
Let's really look at the difference here. On one side, you've got your typical everyday chana masala. You know the one, it usually relies on standard prep, probably canned chickpeas, and it generally has this kind of pale, yellowish-orange color with a fairly basic, flat flavor profile. I mean, it's fine, but it's not extraordinary. Now look at the other side. Punjabi Chole relies on unique, from-scratch methods. We're chasing a signature, deeply rich, dark brown color, and a flavor profile that is wonderfully complex, hitting these deep notes of earthiness, tang, and heat. That rich, dark brown color is literally the hallmark of authentic Punjabi Chole. It's your visual cue for the massive depth of flavor you're about to experience. So, how do we actually get there?
Section 2. The Secret Brewing Technique. Unlocking the Signature Color.
All right, this is where the magic really starts. Forget the can opener, because we're starting totally from scratch. And honestly, the sheer ingenuity of this brewing step is what's so fascinating. Let's walk through it. First off, you gotta soak 2 cups of dried chickpeas overnight. No shortcuts here, they absolutely need that time to hydrate. The next day, you transfer them to your pressure cooker, adding enough water to completely submerge them. Then, we build the brewing environment. A pinch of baking soda to help them soften up, a teaspoon of salt, a piece of cinnamon, and a bay leaf. But here is the absolute game changer. Unlike typical recipes, to get that gorgeous, dark, rich brown color, you drop a single tea bag right into the water. Yep, a tea bag. You close the cooker, let it go for a couple of whistles until the chickpeas are perfectly tender, and when you open it up, wow. The tea leaves infuse the water, staining the chickpeas this beautiful dark shade without actually making them taste like your morning cup of Earl Grey. Once that's done, just toss the tea bag, the bay leaf, and the cinnamon stick. Your foundation is set.
Section 3. Building the Spice Foundation. Creating an aromatic base.
So we've got our beautifully browned chickpeas. Now we need to construct the flavor vehicle they're going to ride in, and this requires some precise layering of aromatics. Start with a wide pan. The creator actually recommends a white kadai, so you can easily watch the colors develop, and heat up about 2 tablespoons of oil. Toss in fresh cinnamon, a new bay leaf, and cumin seeds to flavor the fat. Then comes the crucial base, 2 large finely chopped onions. Sauté these until they hit a deep, rich golden brown. Seriously, don't rush this part. Once they're golden, stir in a hefty teaspoon of ginger garlic paste, followed by 2 large chopped tomatoes. Cook this all down until the tomatoes are completely mushy and broken apart. And finally, stir in 2 slit green chilies for that fresh vegetal heat. Okay, with that thick, aromatic base sizzling away, it's time to deploy our massive spice arsenal. We're going in with a half teaspoon of turmeric, a bold 2 teaspoons of red chili powder, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin powder, 1.5 teaspoons of garam masala, and 2 teaspoons of amchur, which is dry mango powder. This amchur, absolutely vital. It brings a sharp, fruity tang that perfectly balances the heavier, earthier spices. Add a teaspoon of salt and mix this completely dry spice blend into your wet base until it forms an incredibly fragrant, thick masala paste. The complexity happening in your pan right now is just off the charts.
And this brilliantly illustrates the virtue of patience. Once your spice foundation is perfectly combined, you bring in those beautiful tea-stained chickpeas. Mix them thoroughly so every single chickpea is coated in that intense masala, and pour in about half a cup of water to create a gravy. Then, you close the kardai, set your flame to medium, and you wait 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. During this covered simmer, an incredible exchange happens. The chickpeas are absorbing the intense heat and tang of the masala while simultaneously releasing their own starches into the liquid to thicken up the gravy. It's like a giant puzzle, and it all comes together beautifully.
Section 4. The Final Flavor Boosters. Elevating the dish to a masterpiece.
Okay, so you uncover your pan after those 10 minutes, and it already looks phenomenal. But we're taking this to absolutely unforgettable. The crucial point of any great recipe is exactly how you finish it, and here are the exact mechanics for our finale. First up, 2 teaspoons of our nadana powder. That's dried pomegranate seed powder. It provides this final distinct, deeply sour and tangy finish that just cuts right through the richness. Next, kasuri methi, or dried fenugreek leaves. Now, pay close attention to the specific action here. You don't just dump this in. You take 1 teaspoon, place it in your hands, and physically crush it between your palms as you sprinkle it over the pan. This physical friction actually releases the dormant essential oils, flooding the entire dish with a rich, savory aroma. Finally, the ultimate luxury: 2 teaspoons of ghee. It's technically optional, but I highly recommend it. It rounds out those sharp spices and adds a wildly luxurious, velvety mouthfeel to the finished sauce.
Section 5. Serving your culinary masterpiece. The perfect pairing.
So, you turn off the heat, give it a quick garnish with some chopped coriander and ginger juliennes, and you're done. But how does this build into a complete meal? Well, hot puris with this Punjabi Chole masala is a wonderful combination, and it's a must. If you haven't had them, puris are those glorious, deep-fried, puffed Indian breads. Tearing into a hot, crispy puri and scooping up this thick, tangy, perfectly spiced chole, it's an unmatched textural and flavor experience. Of course, if you aren't up for frying bread today, don't worry. The robust flavors here are absolutely spot on when paired with soft rotis, chapatis, or even just spooned generously over some simple chaval or rice. The vehicle is flexible, but the destination is always delicious.
Brings us to the end of our culinary breakdown. We've seen how something as simple as a tea bag, a really precise layering of dry spices, and the sheer friction of crushing fenugreek leaves between your palms can completely transform an ordinary legume into an absolute showstopper. Sure, it takes a little more time and a little more care, but the results undeniably worth it. So I'll leave you with this. Are you going to settle for the standard, pale, out-of-the-can dinner this week, or are you ready to deploy these techniques and truly elevate your chickpea game? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Get into the kitchen, experiment with these amazing steps, and I'll catch you on the next one.